What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Cynical Pixel Show. We are now on episode 3. This is Josh.
And Mike.
And yeah, we're back, guys. Apparently, we're getting some good following here across iTunes or Facebook or whatever, however you guys are finding us. Kind of stoked about that. Yeah, it's just nice to know that people are actually enjoying the efforts we're putting out there. So that's pretty cool.
And we're doing this just because we think it's fun. So even if nobody listened, we'd probably still be doing it.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys, some of you are listening, it makes us feel good. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely, guys. And it's just nice. It's just like validation. It's just a nice thing to know that people appreciate the efforts that we put out there and everything else. I forget what I read some of the comments. There was, I think, 3 ratings on iTunes as of today. And somehow we got all 3 ratings were 5 stars, which was pretty cool. And one of them said something like, actually, let me see if I can bring it up, because it was something really awesome. It said something like, listening to this podcast reminds me of brings me back to the days of side-scrolling platformers or something like that.
You didn't post any of those, did you?
No, it wasn't me.
They weren't from you?
No, actually all 3 of them were from me. I was just trying to kind of put a front up there. But no, it was pretty cool. I mean, so thank you guys, whoever took the time to actually sit there and rate our show and everything. It means a lot. And the guys on the Facebook page, we're gonna hit up those Q&As on this episode. So just to show you guys that we are reading them and paying attention to you, and everything that's going on there. So we're just kind of bullshit in the beginning here and find out what's been going on over the past week. I don't know, Mike, if you've had some gaming stuff, not so much what you've been playing, but just anything interesting that happened to you gaming wise.
Well, I actually picked up that Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus for the Vita.
Cool.
That I've been wanting. I just said fuck it and went and bought it.
Nice.
Pretty much it is just a port of 2004's Ninja Gaiden game for the original Xbox, and it seems like it's been ported to a lot of systems. I think they re-released it on the original Xbox, and they called it Ninja Gaiden Black.
Yep.
And then they released it on the PS3 under some other weird name, and now they're releasing it under another name for the Vita. But I just thought having that game portable would be really cool, because I remember when I worked at GameStop, which was then EB Games, that game came out, and I remember taking pre-orders for it, and it was cutting edge as far as graphics and everything. And now to have it on a portable system is just really cool.
Yeah.
The game is pretty much untouched. It has actually one feature that I love. One of my complaints about that game back in the day was that it was way too hard, and they actually have a pussy mode.
Nice.
It's super, super easy.
It's my favorite mode.
Yeah, and I love it because even though I feel bad that I have to use it, it's letting me enjoy the game.
Exactly.
Because I've never been able to get through the whole thing, so I'm actually really enjoying it. And pussy mode makes it so that whenever you're about to die, it lets you have unlimited special attacks.
Nice.
I guess it's called a Nimpo attack or whatever.
It's called a fuck 'em up mode.
Yeah, and it blocks all the attacks and stuff. So
that's tight.
It's pretty hard to die, which is pretty awesome.
See that? People always give us shit for playing games on easy, and it's well, as far as I can see, I pay money to enjoy my games, and getting just completely owned in a game doesn't make it fun for me.
Right.
I want to feel like I'm the best at that game, even though I know I'm shitty because I'm playing on the easiest mode, but I want to get the enjoyment out of it.
You've actually converted me a little bit, because I used to always play on normal or hard.
Yeah.
And since I've been playing with you, I'm just why bother? Unless there's an achievement attached to beating the game on normal or hard or something like that.
Right, then you can always go back and play it on that mode just with that goal in mind, trying to beat it on that mode because of the achievement or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't enjoy the game if I'm just getting killed every 3 seconds. I get frustrated, and that's what makes me put it back on the shelf and never play it again. So I'm not ashamed to say you know what? Yeah, I've been gaming for 30 years or whatever, or 20 some odd years, and I'm not ashamed to say I play everything on easy. I don't give a shit. I want to have fun.
So those of you that feel the same way as we do, you can feel confident in buying Ninja Gaiden that you will be able to enjoy the whole game. It is really easy if you do the easy mode. Yeah. The only bad part about the port is to aim in first person. You have to aim your bow and arrow and stuff sometimes. You have to touch the touch screen, and you automatically go into first person. Sometimes when I'm using the right analog stick, my thumb will like like lightly touch the touchscreen, and it'll send me into first person mode when I don't want it to.
Yeah,
That's the only bad thing. But besides that, it's pretty awesome.
that's cool.
Besides that, I went to one of the local used game stores that I have by my house, and I was looking at the PS2 games, and they had Suikoden 3,
Nice.
which is a game that I've been looking for a long time because I always heard that they're really awesome games, and they're kind of hard to find. So
Yeah.
I found Suikoden 3, which is nothing new. They've had it there before, but it used to be like $30 or $40. Yesterday it was only 15, so
That's
I went
not
ahead
bad.
and picked it up, and it's in pristine shape, so I was pretty excited to get that.
Yeah.
And I know you and I were talking about hockey games for the old PSP.
Yeah.
We always loved the hockey games, and I heard that EA made a NHL '07 game for the original PSP. So I said, "Oh, I have to find it." So when I was at the store, I actually saw it. They had it used
Nice.
for $8.
Nice.
So
nice.
I was like, "Sweet, I'll buy it for $8." So I
Yeah,
brought it up to the
absolutely.
counter. I bought it and everything with Suikoden 3, and then I opened up the box before I left because I usually want to see how scratched up the discs
Yeah.
are or whatever. So I opened up NHL '07, and it was actually FIFA '07.
Oh man.
So I told the guy, I was like, "Yeah, I don't want this. I wanted the hockey game." He's like, "Oh, sorry. I thought he should have given me a free game or something, but he didn't. He was
Yeah,
like,
seriously. Like obviously whoever bought FIFA '07 got NHL '07.
yeah, I don't know what was going on."
They
So
put the wrong game
I was really
aside.
sad because I really wanted that game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll find it on Amazon or something.
Yeah, you'll come across it. I mean, it's pretty common. I mean, the sports games are so easy to find.
I would
Yeah.
love to have like a portable, like real hockey game. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can always take a peek at the flea markets too. I mean, they
Yeah,
always
if you
have.
see it, I'd love to pick it up.
Yeah, if I find it, I'll let you know. I mean, I can pick it up. I'm sure it's not going to be expensive, especially at the flea market. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably get it for a couple of bucks if someone has it.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
But yeah. So for me this week, you were done, right? I didn't know if
Yeah,
I didn't want to
done.
interrupt there.
fine.
I just realized, I'm like, I don't know if he said if he was done or not.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, so I had a pretty epic week as far as pickups are concerned. I hit the flea market for like the first decent Sunday or weekend because the weather actually wasn't cold this weekend in Pennsylvania, and it was awesome. I found 3 different video game vendors, and the one guy I normally buy from was there, and then there was 2 new guys I'd never seen before. Across the 3 guys, the one guy had NES games, all different bins with different prices because of obviously the rarity of the titles. Like the one bin had like Mega Man games in it. Obviously they were like $20. I'm like, well, screw that. I mean,
Yeah.
I can get that for $20 inside Video Bonanza or off eBay or whatever. You know, you're looking for deals while you're at the flea market, not just, oh look here, I found it. Let me pick it up for. I think Mega Man 1 was $25.
It seems like you have a lot of gougers by you. People
Yeah.
that make everything really expensive.
I do, and you have to be really careful. I think they're all over the place. It's just that I happen to just run into them all. But it's just like they're trying to like rape me in my wallet. But
And succeeding.
yeah, well, yeah. Some of them do. It depends. I try to be as smart as I can usually, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes I just find a game. I'm like, fuck it, I don't care how much it is. I want it.
Yeah, I get like
So,
that sometimes too.
Yeah, I mean, a certain game you've been looking for, and you're like, you have it in your hands, and it's just like you can't turn it down. So
Like I'm sick of looking for it. I found it in the wild. I'm buying it.
exactly. I mean, you could always find it on eBay for a deal, but it kind of takes the collecting and the hunting down. You know.
It's no fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the one guy, he had the one bin, and I mean, I could have easily dropped like $500 at the flea market, and I was like, I had to be choosy and stuff. And he had one bin that was actually 5 NES games for $10, which is $2 a piece. So I ended up picking up like a shit ton out of that bin, games I didn't have yet. And he had I picked up a power pad with the Mario Duck Hunt track meet thing for $8. That was the one peripheral I didn't have for the NES yet, as far as my collection was concerned. So I was like, well, for $8, it's not bad. Come with the game and the power pad, and I already have that game, so I can always just resell that on eBay for like $1 or $2.
Now you're playing with power.
Yeah, super power. So and then the second guy, I picked up like 2 Atari games. I got the game Kangaroo for the Atari. Mainly because it was nostalgic. I mean, that game is absolute shit, but I remember playing that as a kid, so I just kind of wanted to have that back again. And
All Atari games are shit.
For the most part, yeah. There's a couple of decent games like Food Fight which actually was the other title I picked up. I absolutely love that game.
What kind of game is that?
It's I don't know
It's not like
honestly.
Burger Time, is it?
No, it's like you're this guy named Charlie Chuck, and you start on the right hand side of the board, and on the left hand side of the board there's an ice cream cone which is like dripping, which is kind of like your time, like the
Okay.
time frame of the board, and you have to go from right to left across the board to get to the ice cream cone before it completely melts. But like in the way, there's like a whole bunch of chefs that come after you, and they're throwing food at you to try to kill you. So like if you get hit by anything they throw at you, you die, or if they touch you physically, you die. But you can
So
then
it's like pretty much all those games on the Atari where things are like all dropping and you have to avoid them.
kind of, yeah, but they're coming at you like it's not dropping. You don't go like a south to north, like up the board. It's kind of across the board. So they come out of these little holes in the board, and they come after you and throw food at you, and then but in turn you can run by piles of food, pick it up, and throw food at them and kill them.
Okay.
So you can kind of battle them. You're battling back and forth. You're kind of running around trying to avoid food that's flying at you as well as touching them, and then trying to get to the ice cream cone before it melts. And based on like every piece of food that doesn't get used in the board when you complete the board adds to your score. So like obviously you want to try to minimize your use of the food,
Right.
as well as minimize their use. So basically get there as quickly as possible without like losing a lot of the food. And
Okay.
it's really cool for an Atari game. It's really cool. It actually started out as an arcade game back in the day, and they ported it to the Atari later on. But
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you can. I picked it up for $2 at the flea market for the Atari. So I mean, it's pretty cool. But I ended up picking up 29 NES games, and
Oh shit.
yeah, most of them are very common. I'm not going to go through all of them, obviously, because that'd be boring. But um, uh, stuff like Tecmo NBA basketball. It's like, well, am I going to play it? Probably not, but I don't have it yet, And
Yeah.
then I did pick up Double Dragon 1, which I didn't have yet, which was weird.
I don't have that either, actually.
I just got it. It was $5. I was like, that's good enough because Double
It's
Dragon.
like one of those games that I'm like, of course I have it. And then I go check. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
you're like,
shit, I don't have
yeah,
it.
exactly. So I was like, that's weird. I don't have Double Dragon because I have an app on my iPhone, and it tells me what I have and what I don't because I input them as I buy them.
Oh, that's
And,
awesome. Do
yeah.
they have a Dreamcast one?
Probably. I know they have a lot of for like all the retro systems. I know they have.
Dude, this is how much of a fucking nerd I am. Every time I go to the store that I'm telling you about,
Yeah.
I have a binder.
That's
And I
awesome.
printed out like a spreadsheet of every North American Dreamcast release, and I type in like how many I have and what kind of condition it's in.
Nice.
Like so I'm like walking around with this fucking notebook. I must
Well, it's
look like the biggest freak in the world.
well, no. I mean, don't feel too badly because honestly, before I got the app for the iPhone, I had a printout of the list of all the NES games.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and I kept like as I got them, I would just cross them out, so I
Okay, I
knew
feel
which ones I
better.
needed and stuff. Yeah, but this is so much easier because you can search by letter and all this kind of stuff. But
Well, because like sometimes I'll forget to bring it, and I'm like, shit,
Right.
I don't have this game.
Right.
Then I get home and I put it on the shelf. I'm like, holy fuck, I have it already.
yeah. So
I
that
had
this
no
way it would be
idea.
on your phone already. The
Yeah, I
the one
gotta do that.
the one I use is called NES Collector, and I know they have a Sega Master System one, which I think am gonna end up downloading and buying because I'm starting to collect for that system as well. The
Such
whole
a cool idea for an app.
yeah, the whole 8-bit era. I'm
It's
trying
so
to.
like niche though. Like, I mean, how many people are gonna want to download something like that?
Well, they keep updating it and stuff, so they must be making money.
It costs money.
What to make apps?
No, to sell the app.
Oh no, but I actually started looking into making an app for our show for the podcast.
Oh, yeah, come on,
And-
lazy bastard.
Well, I found a really good program that lets you design them and stuff, which is it's actually really easy to do. And I started making it, and then it's like, well, in order to save it and publish it to iTunes, you have to like pay like $99 a year or something like that through the program.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, I only want to make one app. Why would I pay an annual fee? Like that's stupid. Either that or you have to pay for somebody to like design one for you. I'm like, well, I know how to design it. Like I'm good with computers. I can do this.
Right.
And but then in order to pay somebody to do it, you have to pay them like a couple $100. And I'm like, that's stupid. So,
Yeah, fuck
but
that.
the fact that they're updating the collecting apps means that they're making money. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a great idea. So, like I said,
Yeah, I like that.
I think I'm gonna get the Master System one as well because I'm trying to. I think I may try to collect that system as well because it's the same time frame as the NES.
I'm glad you told people about that. That's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, if you go into iTunes, just look up NES Collector, and they'll have links to the whatever. I think they have a Super Nintendo one. You know what? Actually, while we're talking, let me see if I can look it up on iTunes, just so I give you the right information. But actually, I don't know if they have the. Oh, here, iTunes Store. Yeah.
I'm sure if you just go in and type in NES collecting thing, it'll come up.
Yeah. Here, NES Collector. Well, I brought up the app, but I want to see if they bring up other
That's
apps.
all right. Mhm. They have the idea. Let's
Yeah.
move on.
So, what is that noise? I just heard some crazy ass noise. Did you hear that?
No?
Oh, okay. Anyway, it's probably my iTunes. But anyway, so yeah, so I picked up like a shitload of games. Double Dragon, which I had 2 and 3. I didn't have 1, which was just the strangest thing. I got a game called Kiwi Craze, and
I haven't heard of it.
well, do you know the game Ivy the Kiwi for the Wii?
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of that. I have not played it yet. I've never played it before, and it's kind of not a rarity. I hate to use that term too loosely, but it's a little, I guess, more uncommon to find. And it was like I think $7 or something like that. But I picked it up, and it looks like the cover art looks almost the same as Ivy the Kiwi, and the main character is a little bird that is like it's a platformer. So I'm thinking it's possibly like along the same series as Ivy
It's the same
the Kiwi.
franchise.
Yeah. I picked up a game called Trog. It's like a caveman type game. It seemed to be a little bit more rare than the others. And Digger T Rock I picked up, which I had never played before, and I just like going back to the NES. You can go back and actually look at the artwork on the actual label and kind of almost tell like what kind of game it's going to be, if it's going to be fun or not. You know, like
I
used to do
disagree.
oh, see, I used to do that when I was a little kid, and I still do that now. Like, I looked at Digger T Rock, and I was like, if I just saw the title of that, I'd be like, that's stupid. And
I was
I looked
always
at
wrong. I was always picking up games that looked fun, and then they were pieces of shit.
yeah, and that was half the fun, though. I mean, it was just like,
Yeah,
I was
not
like,
when you're spending $50 on a
yeah,
game.
I got gypped. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? Yeah, Digger T Rock actually is put out by Rare of all companies. Like, I didn't know that, and I busted it out sometime this week, and it was okay. It's not too bad. It's a little tough, but it's I could see it being fun once you kind of get the hang of it, you know.
Well, talk about a company that fell from grace. Fucking
Yeah.
Rare.
Yeah.
God, they used to make such good games, and what's the last thing they made? Like the Xbox 360, like avatars or something
Yeah,
like that.
pretty much. Yeah, they were responsible for Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I mean, I know you didn't like that game, but I was a big fan of that game. And but anyway, yes, I picked up a shitload of NES games, a whole bunch of commons, and the ones I mentioned obviously a little bit more rare. But I also went to where did I go? Goodwill. I picked up a couple of games. I got shit, I forget the name. I picked up like Tetris Worlds or something for PS1. I picked up Tron Evolution for the 360 at Goodwill of all places.
Ew, how much did you spend for that?
$7.
Yeah, that game sucks.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck it. You know, for $7, it was sealed. It was still sealed. So I mean, for a sealed 360 game, I'll pay $7. Fuck it.
Yeah, 7's good.
Yeah. I picked up. I think it was like.
I'll buy any game for like $7 to $5.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care how bad it is or whatever. It's still a game to play, you know.
Yeah.
I picked up. I think it was Cool Borders 2001 for the PS1. Oh crap! There was another PS1 game in there. I forget what it was. I picked up. There was one more. I went to Best Buy and I picked up in the used section. They had Shadow of the Colossus for the PS2.
Oh, sweet.
Black Label for $14. So
Wow, that's higher than I thought you were going to say.
yeah, it was $14, but it was the fact that if it was like the greatest hits, I probably would have left it there. But the fact that it was the Black Label, like original pressing and all that kind of stuff, like, it makes it more collectible and worth more. Because the majority of them end up being, you know, the Red Label.
Did you get the Shadow of the Colossus Eco Collection?
No, I rented it, but I never played it because
See,
it's
like for an extra
PS3.
$20, you could have just gotten that.
Yeah, I like having like the vintage version, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely eventually just end up picking that up and playing it and stuff. But I kind of like having it on the original system, at least from the collection standpoint. So
Yeah.
I know I'm forgetting some other stuff, but whatever. Pretty much get the idea. But yeah, so on that same note, if you want to hit up the what you playing segment, what have you been busting out over the last 7 to 10 days?
I've actually been playing more hockey, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I'm playing it right now. I know no one really wants to hear too much about that. Other stuff I was busting, I've just been playing lots more on my Vita. I'm pretty much addicted to it.
Yeah.
I love Uncharted. I'm playing Katamari. I beat that. I got further in Dungeon Hunters. Dynasty Warriors is awesome. I'm just playing the same stuff. Nothing new.
Yeah, nothing new or exciting.
Nah.
For me, I actually have continued on Yakuza 4. I finally got past that first guy, the loan shark.
Oh, good.
I ended up on. I'm currently on the second guy in the storyline. Saijima or some, however the hell you say it. But
I
the
always
guy.
forget everybody's names in those games.
Yeah, I do too.
Dojima, Saijima, Kajima, like.
Dildoa.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible
Yeah,
to keep track of.
Pretty much. But yeah, it's like Saijima or something like that. But he was the one who was in jail for like those like 18 murders or whatever, and you have to escape the jail.
Spoilers.
I don't care at this point. The game's been out for a year.
I love fucking with you. Like
I know.
the spoiler shit.
Spoilers. So, but I got.
So the game has a start screen. Spoilers.
The game ends at some point.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
So, but yeah, I'm currently on that chapter or that I guess portion of the game. Based on the way I feel it's going, I'm getting towards the end of him, so I'm looking at probably about 50% done with the game now. So I'm making pretty good progress. But another game I picked up, which I kind of didn't talk about because I was going to talk about it now, was Yakuza Dead Souls, and I did pick that up on release day, which was this past Tuesday, and I was all stoked, and I got home and. I'm settling into my. I turn my PS3 on, I put the disc in, and we're getting ready, stoked. And then a fucking PS3 install screen comes up. And I was like, this is why I fucking love my Xbox. This is why I don't like my PS3. It's like installing the game, and it gave me like a little bit of a backstory, which is it actually features the same four guys that Yakuza 4 has, the four main characters.
That sucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, long story short, I haven't played the game yet. The damn install screen was on there for like 45 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. It took forever. And I went out and like had a smoke. I came back. I went on YouTube, watched some videos. I looked back up. It's like 40% done. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. I'm like, screw you, Sony. I'm like, they're such pieces of shit sometimes. So I'm like, all right, fine. I was like, you know what? I was like, because on my TV I can switch back to like my cable box while the PS3 is still installing. Yeah. So I was like, let me just go back to my cable box. Like I'll clear some stuff off my TiVo or something. Just make some use out of my time. I end up falling asleep waiting for the fucking thing to install. So I was so pissed because I woke up on the couch the next morning like all cramped up because like you're not really supposed to sleep on a couch like that. And I was like, fuck you, Sony. I was like, my back hurts now. So like, I was like, oh shit. I was like, it's probably ready to play. So like, I go back to the setting for the PS3. It was done, which obviously it was like 6 hours later. And I look at the clock. I'm like, shit. I have to get ready for work. So I was like, son of a bitch. Yeah. So I didn't get to play it. I turned it off. And then last night I was out all night, so I didn't get to play it. And here we are recording the podcast, so I can't play it tonight either. So,
well, the thing I hate about the whole Sony install thing is like, if it improved like load times,
right,
I'd be totally fine with it.
Yeah, like installing it to the Xbox hard drive.
But it adds nothing.
It doesn't. I don't understand anything that it does.
Because I've had games for both systems, so I can compare it.
Right.
And I mean, it's the exact same experience.
No, it is.
Just that I can't play instantly. I have to wait for this.
You still have to wait for the fucking load screens, and it's like I don't understand what it's doing.
It's just more space on my hard drive that's taken up.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. Like I have a small hard drive for my PS3, and you have a small hard drive for your 360.
Yeah, yeah.
So like for your 360, you have a hard time downloading demos, and I'm always running out of room on my PS3, especially when I play DC Universe.
Yeah.
Like, because that takes like 17 gigs.
Yep. And you have what, the 60?
Yeah, I have the 60, but
I
It's
think
backwards compatible, so I don't want to get rid of it.
yeah, I would never get rid of it if I had that one. I have the Slim, which is I think I have a 250 gig hard drive.
But I was actually going to save this for Circus of Values, but I'll just bring it up now because we're talking about the game. Actually, Dead Souls is on sale at Amazon right now for $44.99.
Nice.
I picked it up last night for my birthday.
Sweet.
My wife doesn't know that she's getting me that for my birthday, but she does now. So
Oh,
that's gonna.
you said Dead Souls, and I was thinking of a different game, and I'm like, why the fuck is he talking about that game?
Oh,
What?
Demon Souls.
Demon
maybe?
Souls is what I was thinking of. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Dead
was
Souls.
like, where the fuck did that come from? Then
Yeah.
I realized you were talking about Yakuza. Yeah, I
Yes,
mixed them up.
Yakuza. So I have it. I have it coming as well. So maybe we should do a review of that one since we both have it.
Yeah, depending on
Cool.
like how far we can get into it and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping it doesn't include any spoilers, so because I haven't finished
But,
Yakuza 4 yet.
Well, I'll be sure to let you know if it's spoilers.
Yeah,
Because
you
I
gotta
call
let
you
me
out
know.
with this shit.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been playing Yakuza 4. I tried to play Yakuza Dead Souls, but there was a major Sony fail on that one.
Like always.
Yeah, of course. The hell else have I been playing? That's probably about it this week.
Yeah, that's all you. I think that's all you told me you were playing.
Yeah, the retro emulator. I mean, as always, I always. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, that's not it. I didn't tell you about this for a reason. I wanted to save it as a surprise. I actually was busting out Fortune Street for the Wii.
Oh, yeah, I've been dying to hear your thoughts about it.
I rented it through GameFly. I like it. It's a lot of fun. I mean,
It is, right?
Yeah, it's just so different. You know, it's Monopoly with all the extra options and stuff. The only problem I was having was that it still to me took forever.
You have to go into the options and go to like fast mode.
Yeah, see, I didn't change any of that, and I love the fact that
Okay.
you just use the Wiimote as like turned sideways like an old NES controller.
You can play it one-handed, which I love.
Yeah, and I just sat there and I'm like, but you're holding it like even if you want to hold a controller with both hands, you can hold it like an old NES controller. There's no motion. There's no like
Yeah.
800 buttons. Like sometimes I don't want a 360 controller with like all those buttons or a PS3 controller. I just want like 4 buttons. You know, and that's why I love my retro games is because you can go back to those days of only having an A and B and a D-pad. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
this.
but they do have a option under settings, I think, where it's called like fast mode or something, where it's not
Okay.
as much talking from like the characters and stuff, and you kind of just get to the game.
Yeah, I just basically I just did like a quick setup. It was just like I clicked on a couple things and I just wanted to play it. So I played it for like maybe 40 minutes or so, and the same game was still going. I was like, fuck this! Like I ran out of patience because I was getting my ass kicked anyway. But so I just turned it off. But I did bust. I am gonna give it a couple more tries though because I did have fun playing it.
It's fun. We can actually play online.
Yeah, with the shitty Wii Speak.
Well,
Sounds
I don't
sounds
even
like
know
you're
how
in a
Wii
cave.
Speak. I know you can play it online with other people.
Yeah, and we could always just go on jump on Skype while we were playing too.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I could always just jump on Skype on the laptop instead of the Mac downstairs, and just we could talk through there while we were playing.
Be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept forgetting to ask you about that.
Yeah. So I busted it, but pretty much the day it came in the mail, I busted it, and I haven't had a lot of gaming time the last couple of days, honestly, between work and like meetings and normal stupid life bullshit.
Yeah, I
And,
was on Xbox, and it said you hadn't been on in like 4 days. I'm like, what the hell's he doing?
Yeah, I've been on the PS3 and the Wii. Ironically enough, like
That's good though. I'm glad you're busting that stuff.
yeah, I try to. I have a lot of games I have to bust on those two systems, and
Spread the love.
yeah, if it's a night where like I don't hear from you like via text that you're going to be on or something, I'll just like, all right, fuck it, I'll pop on the PS3 or something, and and what was the other game? I got it in the mail. Oh, Jaws for the 3DS.
It's campy fun.
I haven't tried it yet. I haven't had the chance to pop it in.
It's
yet,
just
but
like pointless, like
I really want to play it though. It looks like
just
fun.
mindless, fun, swimming around, eating
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
ramming into boats. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it just seems like something just different and just kind of fun. Like you can just be destructive and just like fuck around with shit, and
The controls take some getting used to, and they're kind of finicky, but
pretty much the same as any other game when you first start playing something.
yeah, it's a little janky, but
Yeah.
it's
So-
it's pretty fun.
Yeah, so I mean, those are probably on my radar for this coming week. Jaws for sure, because if I don't like it, then I'll just mail it back and get my next game. But Fortune Street, I want to give another shot too.
Yeah, it's
And
good.
both Yakuzas are going to be getting a lot of play. So next week may be kind of boring as far as what I've been playing, because it'll probably be bunch of the same stuff, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, I've got a lot of options to hit up, which is cool.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, what you're playing. Pretty much, we're gonna move on to what we wanted to talk about this week, and that is another top 10 list. You guys seem to enjoy
I
those.
thought we were gonna do the question and answers.
You want to do that first?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care, man. Whatever. I'll do what I want. Yeah, actually, yeah. Let's do that. We'll get that out of the way. That's cool. All right. So forget it. Forget everything I just said. We're gonna hit up our Facebook page, guys. If you haven't gone over there yet, just go onto Facebook.com, log into your account, and do a search for the Cynical Pixel Show. It comes up with a fan page, and you can just click the like button. It says 16 likes and one talking about this. I don't know who was talking about that. I don't understand that one. But anyway, we made a post on March the 7th, which was, 8 days ago, I guess it was? Yeah. And it says, here's your chance to have your name featured on the air during a show. Leave a question or comment attached to the post, and we are going to choose the best ones to answer for episode 3. Well, we're recording episode 3, so we're going to hit them up. And there was 4 people who left comments and questions. Actually, I think they're all questions. But instead of picking them, we're just going to say, you know what? Let's just answer them all. Fuck it. And let's see what we can come up with. So I'll pose the question if you want to answer first, and then I'll chime in after.
Sure.
First question comes from Xbox Gamer 82, and it says, "What game do you hate but love just as much?" And it says like a love-hate game.
That's kind of hard.
It is a hard question. I honestly don't know if I can even find an answer for it.
A love-hate game, like a game that sucks but we still like.
Well, a game that you hate because it's like certain parts. Like I'm assuming that means like certain parts of it are just terrible, but you still sort of are addicted to it. You love it, but you hate it at the same time.
For me, it's probably going to be Jurassic Park, because I know damn well that it's a terrible game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not very polished and not very well put together.
Yeah.
But I still have a lot of fun when I play it, just because it's not the same old, shooting crap and racing cars and, all that boring stuff. They try to take a page from Heavy Rain and do kind of like the interactive movie thing, and I think it's fun, even though I know it's not the best made game, and I would never call it like, a well-made game.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think of off the top of my head, and again, it's going to be a current-gen game. I mean, there's so many bad games that I love from the NES days, I can't even start to think about that. But ironically enough, I have to say, like, L.A. Noire. I hated a lot of the repetitiveness and a lot of the aspects of that game, but as much as I hated it, I loved it enough to actually get through it and beat it.
Right.
And I like the setting, and I like the whole investigation and the time frame it took place in, and I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. And it's just I don't know. It's tough. It's a great game. It looked really good. The motion capture looked beautiful, and the setting was exactly what I wanted it to be. But then the repetitiveness and the boring nature of some of the cases made me hate it just as much.
Yeah.
And
the only other one that I think might go into that category for me is the Demon Souls and Dark Souls games, because I'm not talking about Yakuza, I'm talking about the real Dark Souls and Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Because they're so hard and so unforgiving, but I just see that they're such like well-made games and they're just spectacular, but I'm just not good enough to get very far in them.
Yeah.
So I hate how difficult and daunting they are, but I love what great games they are.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good question. It was a great question, actually. It's tough to think of an answer for.
It was good.
Second question comes from Austin C. I'm not going to give out any last names on the air here. So Austin C. What's your favorite system to collect for and why? I think we've already pretty much covered that, but obviously for me the NES, and just because of the fact that I love the simplicity of the graphics, the sound. Anytime I hear an 8-bit song, it just I don't know, it makes me like feel alive. I just love 8-bit music. I love the simplicity of just an A and a B button. The nostalgia factor plays a role in that for me. Just because the main system I grew up on, I started with Atari and Coleco and stuff back before that, but the main system I really grew up on was the NES.
Yeah, me too.
It's just I don't have any other system that I can go back to as much as that one, and just pick any game off my shelf and put it in and have that much fun still, like after what 25 years.
Yeah,
And
it is a good system.
yeah, so I mean that's pretty much the reasoning as to why I collect for that. But you can go ahead with yours. I already know
I'm
your
all
answer.
Yeah, I'm all about the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Pretty much because I've always loved Sega. I wasn't a big Genesis guy, but
Yeah.
I've always liked kind of like their franchises and games a lot. So when the Dreamcast came out, and it was totally ahead of its time with the VMU and the online play, and I just thought it was incredible. And the reason why I like to collect for is because the games are so quirky
Yeah, they
and
are.
different. Like, I mean, I love games that try something new, and there's so many of those on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I mean, how many systems have a game where you're talking to a fish with a man head,
Seaman.
through like a microphone. I mean, that's just one example. There's so many other games like that on the Dreamcast that are just like, what the hell were they smoking when they came up with this idea, you know?
Yeah.
So
They
and plus, there's not many North American games for the Dreamcast, so that makes it easy too. I think there's like 250 or 270. I'm up to like 160, I think. So I'm getting there.
How many were the total?
Huh?
How many do they have total?
Like 250 or 270,
Oh, wow.
something around there.
So you're getting there, man.
Yeah, I'm getting there. A lot of the ones that I still need are like the really rare ones.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, because I don't want to pay for them because
Yeah.
they're not games that I like a lot. Like a lot of the fighters on like the 2D fighters on that system are expensive, and as we know, we're not big fighter fans. But
Right.
I'm gonna have to get them for my collection. But I'm just waiting to hopefully find them for a cheap price somewhere. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it'll happen or not. But yeah, I love the Dreamcast. I always have.
Yeah, I heard something. I want to say it was like on the Operation Kill Screen or something that they talked. I think Holly was talking about another Seaman coming out.
Oh, I did hear something about that.
Was it for the 3DS?
I can't remember.
It was
Yeah,
for one,
something
it
like
was
that.
for one of the handhelds. It was either I want to say it was a 3DS that they were talking about putting out another either a re-release of Seaman or a new one. So something to look forward to, especially as a Dreamcast fan.
That's got to be one of the weirdest games ever created.
Yeah.
Like, without question.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's pretty much. I think for my collection, I'm up to like 459, I think, NES games.
That's awesome. I think I have like two something.
Yeah, I'm up to 459.
For NES.
I just entered onto a fourth shelf across my wall, and I still have. I'm only going for like the actual like retail releases, not like the Peekaboo Pokers and the Bubble Bath Babes. I mean, I know they're technically games that play on there, but if you're going to collect those, you might as well collect all the homebrews as well. And there's new ones of new homebrews coming out constantly for that system. So I mean,
The Dreamcast too, actually. And
Yeah.
I'm not going for those either.
yeah, I just want to get like the North American released retail games.
Yeah.
And I think there was, I don't have an exact count, but there's like 700 and something for the NES. So
Wow.
I'm pretty much like 65% there. So it's not terrible. But
That's
again,
great. Yeah.
some of the ones I'm missing are like Little Samson, is like $100 game, and like it's just some of the crazy prices on them. It's just insane. But anyway, next question is from Thomas D, and it says, "When are you going to start inviting people onto the show?"
Whenever you want to come on.
Yeah, exactly. Just leave us some comments, or I'm trying to see if you can actually email us from the Facebook page. I don't know how that works because it's a fan page and not a like personal page. But oh no, there's an ask question link actually. Yeah, if you guys are interested in coming on the show, just like leave some info or leave whatever on our Facebook page. We'll definitely end up seeing it and reading it and stuff. And
They can contact you on YouTube too,
yeah, sure. I mean,
or on our Shark and Pixel channel or whatever.
yeah, but I don't think I get notifications for that one. I would prefer on the on my channel because it actually goes right to my personal email.
All right, fine, Mr. Picky.
I don't ever check our YouTube channel anymore. There's no point because we don't post anything anymore, Yeah, so if you guys can't get through to us on the Facebook page, you should be able to. But if you can't, then just drop a line on the on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/accardshark, and there should be on my main channel page. There's an email link. You can send me a PM over there, and if you guys want to come on, promote your channels, do whatever you want to do, or just talk games. Even if you don't have a channel or anything to promote,
That'd be awesome.
just jump on. Yeah, we'll definitely.
If we're doing a top 10 or whatever, we'll let you know what the topic is, and you can get prepared before the recording.
Yeah, we'll try to give you a maybe like in an episode beforehand. We'll say like next week we're going to cover this. Anyone who wants to come on with that, drop
Sure.
us a
Yeah.
line or something. Yeah, and if we get some people, great. If we don't, we'll just continue on as normal.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a good question. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's good to get the info out.
yeah, absolutely. And then actually a guy who I've been friends with through RetroUprising.com, which if you guys haven't checked that out yet, it's for Windows-based computers only, unfortunately, because I wanted to try to play out the big screen on the Mac down here, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're not running Windows. But it's a free website. It takes donations basically from the members to just keep it running for the server space. But it has pretty much like every retro system ever that you can and all the emulators and everything are all stored on their servers. So you don't have to download a thing. You just go to whatever game you want for whatever system, hit play, and it plays.
Is that legal?
I have no idea. I
Doesn't
honestly
sound
don't.
like it.
I honestly don't know, and I'm sure Joseph Joe is actually the guy's name. It's his username on Retro Uprising, but it's because of his last name starts with the letters JO.
Okay.
So that's where he got his screen name from as well. But he actually left a comment. Maybe he'll know an answer to that question, whether it's legal or not. But but it's a lot of fun. The emulators work really well. They actually have leaderboards. That if you play a game in score mode, basically you can hit once you're done and your score is up on the screen, hit F12, it submits it. They watch the video, and it's almost like a miniature version of Twin Galaxies, where they keep their own records on the site, and there's constantly people battling back and forth for records and stuff. I was battling for a little while with 10-Yard Fight for the NES, and I eventually ended up getting a 70-point win in that game, and it actually qualifies as not only the record for the website, which hasn't been taken down in no one's been able to beat it now for 4 or 5 months, but it actually would qualify as a world record at Twin Galaxies as well. I'm just too lazy to submit it, I guess.
Call me old-fashioned, but I'm like, I don't know, like the whole emulating games and ROMs, like I'm just not into it at all. Like,
See, I love it.
If I'm not playing off of like the original cart, it just doesn't feel right to me.
It doesn't feel the same. I'm not gonna front on that. Like playing on my laptop upstairs or whatever does not satisfy me to the point where like playing my NES does.
Yeah, I don't get the same feeling at all.
I want the controller in my hand. I want the big screen TV. I want the old sound and everything. And I definitely it's almost like arcades too, like arcade emulation. Like if you have like the 60-in-1 arcade classics, which I'm looking at actually building soon. Yeah, you can get like everything from Frogger to Donkey Kong to Miss Pac-Man on one cabinet, and it saves a ton of space. But at the same time, you're not playing that original Miss Pac-Man cabinet. Like
I know,
and
it's something different about it.
Yeah, it feels different. It plays different sometimes, and
I'm so anti-piracy. It's like not even funny. I don't think that shit's cool at all.
Yeah. But
I'm not just saying that because this is like a podcast or whatever. But
no.
It's like, I don't know. Like, we want these people to keep making games.
Sure. But in retrospect too, like if you're playing the retro games like the NES or Atari games or something, something like that, obviously like even if you were to find a copy of that game, you're finding it used somewhere, and they're not getting a piece of that anyway.
Well, yeah, the old stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why.
I'm talking about these people now that like pirate games and shit.
Yeah,
like, really?
that's some crap. Like someone was talking to me the other day, and they're like, "Do you have a Wii?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And I was at the club the other night, and or the bar. I don't know. I always say club. It's not a dance club. So don't get the wrong idea.
And the first time you said club, I'm like, what are you, raving or something?
Yeah, it's not a club. It's not like a rave club or a strip club. Although
ecstasy.
Strip club wouldn't be a bad idea though. But no, it's like a private club, like a bar. And you were there with me the one time. And it's like this little converted house that they just put a bar in, and we have a pool table now and stuff.
It's the most ghetto thing of all time.
It is. It's small. It's not. I wouldn't call it ghetto. It's small, but it's
like a house.
Well, it's a house, but it was converted. I don't know. I like it, but I enjoy going there and playing pool and just getting $2 beers instead of like $6 beers, and it's always the same crowd too because it's all like members only and stuff, so it's kind of fun. But anyway, off the topic. So I was there, and a member there was like, "Do you have a Wii?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "If you give it to me, I can mod it and get you like basically if you just rent games from like GameFly, you can just install them on your hard drive and your Wii, send them back, and then you just get to keep them all." I'm like,
Oh my god.
I don't want to do that. I want to actually like support games I want to support, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but so anyway, so Joseph Joe left a comment on our Facebook from Retro Uprising. Just a little bit of a plug there, guys. It's free to sign up if you like the old games and you don't have all the old systems to collect the actual cartridges for. It's definitely a good alternative. But anyway, he says, what's your quote unquote holy grail game that you're still searching for?
Oh, I know what mine is.
Let me see. Do I know it?
Oh, of course. Oh well, is it out? Is it like a game that's been made?
Yeah. Like a game that like as a collector, a game
I was
that
gonna say Shenmue 3. Like that's like my holy grail.
No,
but
that's the game that would be the holy grail if it came out for you.
it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta think about this. Okay, I got it. I think.
Okay.
Panzer Dragoon Saga for the Saturn. It's one of like the most rare games ever.
Yeah.
It's like $300 if you buy it off eBay. It came out like at the end of the Saturn's life,
Right.
and it's like an RPG, but it's a really good game from what I hear.
Yeah.
I've never gotten to play. I really wish they would release an XBLA version or something, but I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, if I ever saw that game for cheap, I would pick it up in a heartbeat.
What about for the Dreamcast? Like for your favorite system? Like what's like your holy grail game?
I think I have all the games that I really wanted.
Really?
Yeah, the Holy Grail game for Dreamcast was the European version of Shenmue 2 because it never came out here in America on the Dreamcast. So that was mine, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Actually, they had one at the place that I go to, but it was like $80, and I said no way, because it comes in like a little box. And the box was all ripped up, and I didn't want to spend $80 on a ripped box, so I ended up picking up one on eBay for $60, and I was actually pretty happy with that.
That's cool. Yeah. For me, I'm just trying to think of like basically a really rare game that if I happen to come across it.
Restaurant Panic, maybe.
Restaurant Panic, definitely. I was about to say that. It's weird. Restaurant Panic for sure. Little Samson for the NES is one of them.
What about that one Flintstones game?
Flintstones Surprise at Dinosaur Peak. Yep.
Not the Dino and Hoppy. That's the one that everybody.
That's
has.
yeah. You can get that for like $10. Yeah. Yeah. Surprise at Dinosaur Peak is one that I would probably make a mess in my pants if I found one day.
Yeah, that was only released for video stores actually for rent.
Yeah.
So the only way to get one of those was to hit up one of the video stores when they went out of business or something.
Right. I hit eBay, and you can actually put like a search out on eBay, and then whenever a new item posts under certain keywords, it'll actually email you and say, "Hey, a new item posted under your parameters."
That's
so
cool.
I made one for I just put Flintstones Surprise Dinosaur Peak, and every so often I'll get an email saying like, "Hey, a new item's posted under these parameters." I'm like, "Oh, cool!" So I click on it, and it's always like $300, $400.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna pay for it on there.
Yeah, and that's the only way to find it, really. I mean, people are hanging on to their shit, and then when they want to get rid of it, they put it on eBay. They're not gonna sell it to trade it in at a Video Bonanza or something, and then you know what I'm saying. So it's the only place to get it is eBay, pretty much.
Well, a quick plug for a show on YouTube that I love is the Game Chasers. Have you watched that?
Yep, I love that.
It's awesome, and I think it's under the channel Captain 8-Bit.
Yep.
On YouTube, and they have an episode where they found a Flintstones at Dinosaur Peak for like $5.
Oh,
it was so
I
funny.
never get that lucky.
I know.
I never get that fucking lucky.
The other guy was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you found this game," and it was pretty cool. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's one of the best shows on YouTube, I think.
It's like American Pickers for video games.
Yeah,
basically,
awesome.
Or like Storage Wars for video gamers.
I love that show. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, those are like the NES games that I would probably, even if I just found them in the wild, I'd probably like just make a mess of my pants. But Earthbound is another one I've been looking for.
Yeah, I have that, but I would love to find it in the box with the strategy guide and everything.
Yeah,
I used to have it, and I think my mom threw it out.
Yeah, my mom threw out my Atari 7800 when I was a kid.
Yeah, mine too.
So, Earthbound, Harvest Moon for the SNES.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would love to find that. There's a lot of rarities that every so often I just jump onto eBay, and those are the games that I don't care if I get them off of eBay. If I can find the right price or a good deal or something, I'll jump all over it. trying to think another game that I'm looking for rarity wise is Complete in Box Harvest Moon 64.
Great game.
I would love that for my collection, but I can go on and on. I mean, there's so many games I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks to Joseph Joe for that question, and hopefully I'll see him soon on Retro Uprising.
Yeah, the questions are fun. Keep them
Yeah,
coming. For
definitely,
sure.
definitely, guys. Yeah, we'll post another post and saying like, hey, questions for episode 4, whatever, and we'll just leave some more questions there. Also, I just want to make mention too that I posted. I told you I post the episodes up on our Facebook as well in case people can't get them through iTunes.
I
And
love how you do that. That's really cool.
yeah, it's I want to make sure everyone has access to it, and
That's awesome.
yeah, so I'm trying my best, to keep up with everything. And when I posted episode 1, actually, Thomas, I'll just say Thomas D. He actually posted. We posted the episode March 7th, the first episode, and he commented on March 12th and said the first time I've ever sat on the internet for 100 minutes and just listened, and I just find that to be amazing. Like
That's pretty cool.
that someone's actually interested in what we're saying that much that he literally just sat at his computer because I guess maybe he doesn't have like an iPhone or whatever, whatever the case may be, just had to listen to it on the computer and not a phone or a smart smart device or whatever the crap they're called. And just sat there, and he says this, it's the first time he ever sat on the internet for 100 minutes and just sat there and listened to what we said. And I'm like, that's mind blowing to me. I just wanted
Incredible,
yeah, I just wanted to make mention of that because I thought that was a great comment and just really flattering. Just the fact that he took the time to even let us know that
Yeah, sweet.
is really really awesome. So thank you Thomas for that one because that's really like humbling. It really is. But yeah, so anyway, back to what I was going to get into before, and that's the main topic for tonight. And
Sorry, I totally derailed the show.
that's
I'm
all
sorry.
good. It's all good.
I should have just kept my mouth shut.
It's all good, man. We're actually at 52 minutes already.
We're rambling again.
It's insane. Yeah, probably. Whatever. Fuck it. So, we're going to hit up the main topic for tonight, and as you guys know, we like doing top 10 lists or top 5 lists or top 200 lists or whatever the fuck we want to do. But we're going to do a top 10 list today, and it's going to be top 10 NES games, pretty much of all time. And we tried to throw a list together kind of like last second, so I may have forgotten some ones.
I'm afraid I did too.
Yeah, but I'm happy with the 10 I picked. I'm not so sure about the order I put them in, but I don't know. Whatever.
I'm afraid you're going to say something. I'm going to be like, damn it, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, possibly. You never know. Probably not. I have a couple of obscure games on here, so.
Okay.
But
Just a quick disclaimer: we didn't put Zeldas or Mario's or anything. I know I didn't.
I didn't.
Just because they're kind of, I don't know, like a given. Like those
Yeah.
are.
Well, I have 2 that are probably givens.
I think I have one. That's
It's not like
probably
Mario or
given.
Zelda or anything like that, or Kirby or anything like that. But
I mean, but we're not saying that those aren't great games. It's
Right.
just like you guys know those are great games. We'd rather take this opportunity to maybe introduce you to some games that you didn't know were awesome for the NES. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yep. So you want to kick it off?
Sure. Yeah. Number 10 for me is Master Blaster. Sorry,
Nice.
Blaster Master.
Yeah,
Did you
no.
ever play that one?
No, I have it. I've never busted it out though.
It's really cool. It started off with like this still panel cut scene at the beginning where it shows you have like a pet frog and he like escapes out of your room and jumps down a hole, and then so pretty much like the game is a side scroller,
Right.
and you're in this like all-terrain vehicle. It's like a vehicle with like a cannon on it, and you can it jumps and shoots, and then if you press the select button, you actually get out and you can walk around, and you look all tiny because you're like so small compared to this vehicle that you're in.
Right.
And when I saw that you could get out and walk around, like my mind was blown. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like that. And then if you go into a door, it actually turns into like a third-person shooter, and it goes to like an overhead view instead of like a side scroller, and you can shoot enemies and throw grenades, and it's just an amazing game. It's been one that whenever I play, I'm just reminded of how amazing it is and how ahead of its time it was. I thought just some of the game design elements of that game were just so cool.
Yeah, so it's like overhead shooter, kind of like Commando or like Super C or like one of those games, like top
No.
down.
Well, it's really hard to describe. Like I said, it starts off as like a side scroller,
Yeah.
and then like the boss battles and stuff are like you're a little guy and you can walk around in like a I want to say a 3D space, but it's not. You're like free to walk around wherever you want,
Right.
and you can shoot and attack enemies, and
Yeah, it
it's
sounds
just
cool.
really different.
Actually, it's funny. I just said Commando. I'm like, I love that game.
I forgot that one.
Yeah, it wouldn't be on my top 10, but it's definitely a great game though.
Yeah, yeah, Blaster Master is awesome.
Number 10 for me is one of the two, like, I guess, like mass picks and obvious picks or whatever, and that's kind of why I put it at number 10, because everybody and their grandma puts it on their list. But I put Mega Man 2.
Okay.
It's my favorite Mega Man game of all six. I can always, at any point, I can just go onto the shelf, pick it up, put it in, and be like, oh yeah, Heat Man and Bubble Man and Metal
That's
Man,
my
and
that's my favorite Mega Man as well.
it's the best one. And I
And the
love
music's the best too.
the music's the best. The boards, the design of the boards is the best. The bosses I feel are the most fun to play against. You know, it's just a great time. And I mean, Mega Man 1 I never really liked, and I actually only own 2 and 3. I still need 1, 4, 5, and 6, but you know, I haven't gotten to play a lot of them. But just the ones I have played, I keep coming back to Mega Man 2 basically. So just the, you know, the level designs, the sounds, everything, you know, pretty much it's just a complete package.
Hold on, my dog's like puking. Hold on a second.
Okay. Oh my god, because I totally, like, when you're like, wait, hold on, my dog's puking, and I totally stopped recording, rewound it, and listened to it. I'm sitting here in tears laughing because I totally hear, I totally,
It was fucking hilarious.
I totally hear him like yakking in the background.
Oh my god!
And I was
Like,
wondering
I
what the
never heard
fuck
him
the
do
sound that
It sounded
sound
like he
was.
dying.
Holy shit, that was hilarious. I'm sorry. I know you probably had to clean up puke and stuff, but that was fucking funny.
It's all right, man. See, where else can you get gaming news and a puking dog? It's good times.
Who was that, Hoagie?
No, it was Denali as the girl.
Apparently she didn't like my pick at number 10.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, so anyway,
She'll improve.
number 9, what do you got?
Mega Man 2.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
I didn't think that one was a given, like as much as like Mario or Zelda.
That's why I chose it too. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, for all the same reasons. It's just my favorite, and I think the music's amazing, and just a great game.
Yep. Number 9 for me. Now my nose is all stuffed out because I was cracking up and like tearing up and shit. Number 9 for me was Kickle Cubicle.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know you liked it that much.
Yeah, I do. It's a great puzzler. I had never really heard of it until you and I had seen it like last May.
Yeah, we saw it together.
Yeah, we're like, Kickle Cubicle, what the hell's that? And then I ended up picking it up. I don't know, a couple weeks later, and it's just a great game. It's a puzzle game. Like you have basically, it's like your world has been frozen, and you have to. There's like a couple, I think like 2 like bags of marbles or something on each board that you have to somehow like build. You basically turn enemies into like ice blocks, and then you can push them into the water to like connect paths and stuff.
Something about that sounds really familiar. Did another game do something like that?
Well, Snow Brothers is that's another game that's on my Holy Grail list, by the way. Snow Brothers,
Holy Grail.
the Holy Grail list. I fart in your general direction, but yeah. Well, you have to freeze enemies in what do you call it, in Snow Brothers? But you turn them into snowballs. But that's more like Bubble Bobble though than it is like this. This is a little bit different. It's all very similar though. They're all like the same kind of puzzle games where you have to go level to level, and then you have to beat like 4 overall worlds. But this game actually has boss battles.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's really neat. They're actually pretty tough. But I've been working on getting like a high score in that game. I've gotten. I'm not sure if it was that game or not. There's another game I'm thinking of, but I'm pretty sure I got like good enough to make top 5 on Twin Galaxies with that game. I've been playing a shit ton of Kickle Cubicle lately, and it's just, you know, just a great game. It's just one of those fun bubble bobble type like puzzle games where you just, you know, progress level to level like that, and it's just, you know, a lot of fun. You know, once you can figure out the puzzles and stuff.
I've never tried it. I'd like to.
Yeah, it's actually not that expensive. I mean, it's harder to find, but when you do find it, it's really not too bad. Like you could probably get it for like $15. I mean, it's not ultra terrible. So,
Yeah.
but that was my number 9.
Number 8 for me is King's Quest 5.
Nice. I've never played it. I have it complete in box, but I've actually never played
This
it.
is actually one that I never knew existed for the NES until a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and I couldn't believe that they even attempted to put that game on the NES because pretty much what it
Point and
is, for
click.
those of you that don't know, it's a point-and-click adventure game
Sure.
made by Sierra
Yep.
that came out a long time ago. Obviously, because it's a Nintendo game, but I was always for the PC, and the PC one I played, and it had really really beautiful graphics, and I think it had like lots of voice acting, and I think it was the first King's Quest that had voice acting. Of course, in the I can't remember if the Nintendo one has voices or not. I don't. I doubt it.
Doubtful, yeah.
Yeah, but and the graphics suck. But just the fact that they put King's Quest on the Nintendo, I think, is so cool.
Yeah.
And I played through the whole thing on the Nintendo, and it's still just a great game.
Yeah, no,
And
definitely.
having it on the NES, I think, is just so cool.
I need to bust that out at some point too.
It's awesome. It's good. It's a good game.
Yeah, no, I definitely I bought it actually the same copy that you and I found at Video Bonanza when you were here. We saw King's Quest V complete in box, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like,
I forgot you have it complete. Yeah.
"Yeah," and I was like, "I need that game for the collection, and the fact that it's complete in box." And I think what was it, like $20? I think
I can't remember.
it was like 15 or $20. It was cheap, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I ended up going back. I had some like store credit there because like every X amount of dollars you spend, they give you store credit, and I went back and used my store credit. Basically, got it for free, and but
It's
yeah,
awesome.
complete in box, and the box has like really sharp corners and stuff. It's really awesome. So
I was scared about the controls, but actually they work pretty good. Because
Yeah.
obviously on the PC you had a mouse,
sure, yeah,
and it was really easy. But yeah, on the NES it works just fine.
that's awesome. I got to
Yeah.
try that at some point.
It's fun.
Number 8 for me is Rainbow Islands. This basically is like Bubble Bobble 1.5, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Bubble Bobble 1 obviously was the one that came out in 1986, and then Bubble Bobble 2 was like 94, which is the rare one, another Holy Grail game, by the way. That in between, they put out this game called Rainbow Islands, and it's you don't play as Bub or Bob, you play as like this little boy. Like I don't even know his name. He's just like this little dude, and you shoot rainbows out of your hand, and it's just like Bubble Bobble, where you progress, down from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen, try to get through the levels that way. It's kind of it's sort of like a platformer in a way, I guess. I don't know really how you'd classify the game. It's kind of tough, but you jump from like level to level, and there's enemies that are scattered throughout on different platforms that you're jumping up to keep progressing. And if you throw a rainbow at it, if you hit like the enemy with the rainbow, like they drop like fruit and points and all these different things to collect points and stuff like that, and power ups. And your goal is to just get through the level before, without letting one of them touch you and kill you, basically. So it's,
Right.
again, it's very Bubble Bobble. It's very Snow Brothers. It's very Kickle Cubicle. But I'm a kind of a fan of those types of games. They're just kind of fun. They're mindless. You're just shooting shit at enemies and just progressing through a board.
Another game I've never tried. Yeah, I never tried
Yeah.
Rainbow Islands.
Yeah, that one's another. It's another good one.
I think they made a remake of that, or a sequel for the PSP, actually.
Rainbow Islands.
Yeah, I remember seeing it for the PSP. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
You
No,
might want to check that out. It might be good.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's definitely a game that maybe when I come out to visit you or something, I'll bring a couple of these games with me so you can bust them out.
Yeah, it'd be great.
And I have DuckTales 2 actually. Also, we never got to play, so
Oh,
we can bust all those out. That'd be cool. We can actually play games this time.
Yeah, no, it didn't at all.
Yeah. So Rainbow Islands was my number 8.
Okay, my number 7 is actually the one that I thought was kind of the given of my list because I didn't think Mega Man 2 was. It's Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Okay.
I think that game is just
It's genius, man.
pretty close to perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad about that game at all.
I mean, just the character design. I mean, who came up with the characters? I mean,
So
I remember like
perfect.
part of the huge fun of that game was seeing what the next crazy character was.
Yep.
Like every character was cooler than the next. I remember like there was some just like what the hell, like Soda Popinski and
Yep.
I mean, some of those were just so weird.
Piston Honda.
Piston Honda, yeah, some of the names are just hilarious. And they made a remake for the Wii. It's actually really good.
I love that game. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't picked it up yet, but I will someday. But I think that game is just
it's stellar.
it's totally one of the gems of the NES. Yeah, and sure, I bet it's on a lot of lists, but I mean, it totally deserves to
It
be.
deserves it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nobody out there I don't think that could ever say otherwise. I
Yeah.
really don't see how anyone could pick anything in that game and say, this is why it wouldn't be on a list.
Even the music, like
The
those little
training music.
cutscenes where your trainer's like making you run, he's on the bike and stuff, like, and the music behind it, just like everything
pink-
about that game is so cool.
The pink jumpsuit, yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And the
I
sick
love
the
it.
sick part is that that game was such a part of my childhood and my youth that I actually still to this day remember and can rattle off the codes for Mike Tyson and Don Flamenco.
Oh, really? See, I never did that.
Yeah, like I still to this day remember that Tyson starts it's 007-373-5963.
You're a sick man.
And that is the code to get to Mike Tyson directly without having to go through everybody. And
You're proving your nerd worth right now.
I'm proving that my brain retains useless information.
Yeah.
No, it's a good pick though. My number 7 is something that I think is going to be higher up on your list. It's one of my favorites, but just not one of my ultimate favorites, and it's Boy and His Blob.
Okay.
I absolutely love that game. Just the originality behind it. Obviously being the first version of that game. Well, there's only 2, I think, right? It's just
There's
that
one for the Game Boy too, I believe.
Oh, is there really?
Trouble on Blobonia, or no, that's
That's the first one.
game.
Yeah.
I think there is another one for the Game Boy.
Okay. But the NES, I believe, was the one that started it.
Yeah.
And the fact that the originality, where you carry a sack of jelly beans and you just have this white blob that follows you and eats the jelly beans and turns into different items based on what flavor you feed him. And you have to actually use him throughout the boards to get through the boards, and so you have to not only figure out the puzzle and how to get across like ditches or gaps or whatever mountains, like you have to be able to traverse the board and figure out how to do so, but then also figure out what flavor turns them into what, and if that would help you do that.
Right.
So it's just so much stuff to figure out, and it's just so genius, just so much original thought put into that game that I can't help but have it on my top 10 list.
Another game that has a Wii remake that's really
Yeah.
good.
Yep. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that though, because I'm sure you'll be talking more about that game later.
Oh, I don't know.
You never know.
I
But
don't know.
number 6.
Number 6 for me is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, I forgot about that game.
That-
That's a great game.
I remember I loved the movie, just like all kids
Oh, me too.
back then.
Sure.
And I went to Act One Video, and
Act 1.
we would rent that game like every weekend. And my parents just eventually bought it for me because they were spending so much money renting this game like every weekend that it just made more sense just to buy it for me.
Yeah, exactly.
It was an open world game, and it was one of the first ones that I ever played.
Yep.
If you press select, I think Benny the Cab would come and pick you up.
Yep. Yeah, it was select.
and
Yeah.
If you got caught by the weasels, the way to get free would be to tell a joke. You have to pick the correct punchline, and you could go into like all these different apartment buildings and search for money and weird items. And the music was really cool. I loved that game. And I think when you get like 4 sticks of dynamite or something, then you can finally go into Toontown.
Yeah.
And like the music totally changes, all the characters change, the way the buildings look changes.
I don't think I ever got to that point in that game.
I've beaten that game probably like 5 times.
I've never beaten it.
I've beaten Judge Doom or whatever his name is like
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah.
It's an amazing game. I love that game.
Yeah, no, that was a good pick. It still wouldn't be a top 10 for me, but that's definitely one of my favorite games for the system.
Yeah.
I would say like if I made like a top 20, it would probably be on there.
Yeah.
Number 6 for me, we already talked about it, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, cool.
That was the other obvious one I felt would be on there.
Of course.
Yeah, same reasonings. Just Don Flamenco, Glass Joe, just the characters, the fact that it was Mike Tyson. I was a big Mike Tyson fan in the '80s, back before he got all fucked up. But yeah, I mean, just like you said, as close to perfect as pretty much as you're gonna get for an NES game, I think.
Yeah.
Based on trying to achieve what it did and everything. So, yeah, we won't go into any more about that though. We already talked about it. So,
Cool.
number 5.
Buena's Blob.
Sweet.
You called it.
I knew it was gonna be there.
Yeah, once I heard like the premise about the blob and everything, I'm like, I have to get this game.
Yeah.
So I asked my parents for it for Christmas, I think one year, and I think my grandma ended up getting it for me.
Nice.
And she always called it a boy and his Bobo. So I think every time I play the game or see the name or anything, but yeah, the thing about that game that I loved the most was the trial and error with like knowing what the jelly beans did, because if
Yep.
you remember, it didn't say
Nope.
what the jelly beans did.
Never did.
So a lot of the fun was just like at the
Figuring it
beginning of the
out.
game, just like giving him everything just to see what happens.
Yeah. Licorice was ladder. I remember that.
Yeah, cinnamon was like a blowtorch to get through the spider webs.
Yeah.
Punch was like a hole in the ground. I remember that.
Yeah, because
But yeah, it was so awesome. I just
That's
love that game. But
such
yeah,
a-
we talked about it already.
yeah, it's
so.
such a great game. Number 5 for me. I know this is probably gonna piss some people off because it's a sports game, but
Ew.
yeah, I know. But I just to this day still play this game because I love it so much. Tecmo
Tecmo
Super
Bowl.
Bowl. Yeah, Tecmo
Is it Super or just
Super
regular?
Bowl. Super Bowl.
I thought that was for Super Nintendo.
No, that's Super Tecmo Bowl.
It's so confusing.
Yep. It's I believe it's Tech. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to look because I
It's
have it.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah, Tecmo Super Bowl was for the NES. No, hold on. I'm sorry, you're right. Tecmo Super Bowl is for the Super Nintendo. Super Tecmo Bowl is for the NES.
Ugh, I'm even more confused now.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway,
Whatever.
the second one for the NES, the one with the blue cover, like the guy in the blue helmet. It was the follow up for Tecmo Bowl, which was the original. This was the first game to feature like every NFL team, the entire NFL roster of every team.
Was it really?
Yeah, first football game ever to feature fumbles.
That's
Which
interesting.
is like what? Like, it's a part of a football game. No, it's the first game that had fumbles. It's the first game that actually had injuries to players.
That's cool. I didn't know that stuff.
Yeah, it's like one of the first ones that like it kept an ongoing season on this memory save, and pretty much, I mean, if you look at it and the progression of football games since then, like pretty much the games today owe what they are to like the Tecmo Bowl and Tecmo Super Bowl and stuff, because like they were the first football franchises to actually go to those lengths and put that detail in there.
So the regular Tecmo Bowl didn't have fumbles,
No,
and it didn't have NFL teams.
it did, but it didn't have the entire list of NFL teams. It had like
Okay.
I think like 11 or 12. I forget how many they had, but they didn't
I
have
don't,
all
I don't
of
think
them.
I've ever played Super Tecmo Bowl.
Oh, you had to have, man. I had it growing up. I'm sure we played it at some point.
No, I remember playing Tecmo Bowl, but I don't think I ever did the Super.
Oh, another one I'll bring out there when I come to visit.
Yeah, I'd like to try it.
Bust it out, but it's really really cool, and actually it saves your stats throughout the season as well. So like it'll actually keep your quarterback's like completion percentage and total yards thrown and touchdowns and for the season to date and everything. So it's got crazy like way ahead of its time stuff in it.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's pretty epic. Yeah, it was a pretty good game. So
Cool.
that was my number 5. 4.
All right, my number 4 is Super Dodgeball.
Oh, nice.
God, dude, I probably can't even count the amount of times I've beaten this game and just played through it.
Yeah.
It has like the little characters that look like the River City Ransom dudes, and I remember playing this game and I thought it was so fun because if you run and then throw the ball,
Yeah.
you have like a different, like each character has like a different like special attack.
Yep.
And there was something so rewarding about like backing up, like doing your freaking super throw, and just like 3 dudes at the same time, and they go like jump it like flying across the screen 5 times. Like,
It's so great.
I was like, holy shit, this is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And then at the end, spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
The last like team that you play is like your like evil selves. I think that's like so cool.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's so like 80s movie, and it plays the music from I think Double Dragon.
Oh,
This
sweet.
is freaking awesome.
Isn't that game made by American Technos?
Yep.
Same as River City Ransom.
Yeah, that's why it has like the same curio characters, whatever they're called.
Yeah, and
The big eyes and the little stubby heads. Yeah.
actually, what's funny is that there's a game called fuck, what is it called? Crash and the Boys Street Challenge, I believe it's called. I just picked that
Mhm.
up last summer. It's made by American Technos. Has the guys that look just like River City Ransom characters,
I'll have
but
to buy it then.
it's
I love all
crazy.
that stuff.
It's crazy, but it's like the street challenge. It's like they like run and jump over hurdles and like swim and like it's really crazy. I played it when I first bought it, and it was just like because it was made by the same guys, and
Yeah,
I was just like, what the hell is this crap? I mean,
yeah,
again, I can bring it out if you want when I come out,
sure, yeah.
but
But I love Super Dodgeball.
yeah, it's a good game. I have that actually. Well, I have it for NES, but I also have the port for was it Game Boy Advance? I think it came out for.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, I have it for the Game Boy Advance as well, which is cool because you can bring it with you and stuff. But
Yeah.
no, definitely a good pick. My number four is actually Mighty Final Fight. Um, if you guys know, I'm a big fan of the Final Fight. Well, we both are Final Fight series on Super
Yeah.
Nintendo. This basically is the exact same type of game. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. You play as Cody and Guy and Hagar and stuff, just the same as you do in the regular Final Fights. But then you actually play as like little miniature versions, and all the guys in the game are all just like smaller versions of them. And um, it's not exactly the same boards or anything like that, but it's just the same type of side-scrolling beat 'em up where you know beat the crap out of like a barrel, and there will be like a thing of fruit in there to recover health, and you have the boss battles and the people who attack from the left and right side of the screen, and just basically if you know Final Fight, you pretty much know this game. It's just that this is an 8-bit version with like miniature versions of the characters, basically.
I actually have that game on a Game Boy Advance collection. It's called like Capcom Classics collection. I
Sure,
can't remember
yeah.
the other games that are on it, but Mighty Final Fight's on there.
That's
So if
awesome.
you guys can want to scope that out, you can play it on your Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, it's a really good game. If you're a fan of the side-scrolling beat 'em ups like the Double Dragons or the River City Ransoms or the Final Fights or something, it's one of those basically. It's done really well. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. But number three.
All right, number 3 for me is Sid Meier's Pirates.
Oh damn! See, I forgot that one too.
Oh my God! Like this is another one that I didn't even know that they had for the NES until
Yeah.
like 5 years
Fuck.
ago. If I had known that they had this for the NES when I was a kid, I would have freaked out. 'Cause
Yeah, me too.
my uncle had Sid Meier's Pirates, the first one for the computer,
Uh-huh.
back in like the early '90s or late '80s, whatever it was. And I thought that game was so fun
Yeah.
because you can you like pick what nationality you are. You go around and you can jack up boats and steal all their crap and
Yeah.
use all the money that you steal to buy more crap and get more guys. And I just thought that game was so cool. I mean, talk about like a game that was ahead of its time. Like that was as open world as you could get. You know, like that was sail anywhere, do anything kind of stuff, and the sword play was fun. But yeah, they have an NES version that's really awesome. It's pretty much untouched from the original PC version.
Yeah.
And if any of you guys are into that stuff, it's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, no, definitely. I picked that one up as well, and I was looking at my shelves trying to like make my list, and I totally just flew right by that one. But no, it's definitely a great game.
And they have
Wii
they came out
remake.
with another version on the PC a long time ago. They made an Xbox port that's I think available on 360 under the originals category, and they just released a Wii version as well.
Yep.
And they have it for the PSP, so it's pretty much on every console. So there's a way to get it
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah. That was definitely a good pick. I didn't even think about that one. But number three for me is DuckTales.
Cool.
Just again, just a classic platformer. Just it plays and feels great. I mean, it's just a great game. The music is just second to none
Some of the best music ever in
in
games.
any game at any time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the moon, obviously, like everyone, their grandma knows that and has tried covering it and playing it. I think I even saw someone playing it on like steel drums on YouTube or something.
We were thinking about making that the theme song for the podcast, but we figured it's been
It's been done too
overplayed,
much.
so we went with the tomato song.
Yeah. Which by the way, don't tell people what it's from. If you guys know what our theme song is from, leave it on the Facebook page. I want to see how many people actually know where it came from.
I'd be curious.
It's pretty obscure, yeah. So it would be pretty cool if some people out there were as big a fans of certain types of games like as we are to know where it came from. I actually didn't even know where it came from until Mike told me. So So
Yeah, we were looking for a song for the intro. I'm like, oh, I got one.
yep. So
It's like the catchiest, shortest song ever.
it's awesome. Yeah. So, but yeah, DuckTales pretty standard.
I was gonna put that on my list, but I didn't just because I knew you were gonna have it.
Really?
Yeah, but I love that game too.
Yeah, it's a great game. So number
How's
two,
two? Is two good?
DuckTales
You
2. It's
you
more
never
the
really talked to me about it too much.
it's more the same. Yeah, it's not. I mean, the level design is a little bit. Uh, I would say not worse, but like it just leaves a little bit more to be desired, I guess.
I think it'd be hard just to play any game after playing the first one.
It is. It's
Like
tough.
trying to like redo the same magic from the first one.
They actually tried to incorporate like more uses for Scrooge's cane.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, so like
Well,
it's the same control screen, like or control scheme, I should say, where you can jump and then use it as a pogo stick and all that kind of stuff, and then to get higher. But then at one point they you can use it like and like the hook end of the cane, you can actually hook onto things and then drag items.
Oh, that's neat.
Drag and push items, yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's just hard to get used to. It's not the original. It's tough to like fall in love with because it's not the original.
Well, that came out really late in the NES's lifespan, so it's
It's
pretty
a
hard
rare
to
game,
find.
yeah. It's pretty tough. I actually submitted to buying it on eBay because I was trying to get it in time for when you were out here visiting me so we could play it, and it arrived in the mail the day that you left.
Right,
I was
yeah.
like, son of a bitch. I'm like, I actually got a really good price for it, but I think I spent like 40 or $50 for it, and it's usually it goes for 80 or 90, so I actually ended up getting a good deal, but it just pissed me off because I wasn't really in the market to spend that money at that point.
Right.
Stupid mail, but yeah. So my number 3 was DuckTales though, so
All right, number 2 for me is Maniac Mansion.
that's pisses me off because as soon as we started talking, I was like, fuck, I didn't put that on there.
Yeah, that's been like one of my favorite NES games forever.
Yeah, I love that
I actually had it in a box and everything, and I think my mom threw it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those. I think it was the first Lucasfilm point and click adventure games, and it's just a weird, wacky story about these teenagers that like are trying to save. Were they trying to save somebody from the house? I can't remember.
I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
It's been a while since I've played, but like the people that live in the house are these weird blue people,
Yeah.
and like you can put the hamster in the microwave.
Blow 'em up.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of weird humor. It's so funny. I just think that game is freaking genius. It originally came out for the PC,
Right.
and then they made a NES port, and the port again works really well. There's like a little arrow that you have to kind of move around with the D-pad, so it's kind of like your D-pad is working a mouse. And
It's a
it
little
takes some
it's a
getting
little
used to.
stiff, yeah,
But
but
I
it's
mean,
fun.
it doesn't deter from the game at all. Yeah, it's
No.
awesome.
No, yeah. They actually edited the version for the NES because Nintendo refused to put certain material in the game from the PC version.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Yeah, like in the PC version, like at one point you can like pick up a Playboy and like look at it or something like that, and Nintendo refused to do that. So like it was like a swimsuit calendar instead or something like that. Like they edited it for the same idea, but just like with like no like questionable material or whatever.
Yeah, I
Which-
never played the PC one.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. So I mean, actually, I may have actually. I think what's his name? George had it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, I think I played it over his house once or twice, but I never owned it. But my number 2 is what I feel is your number 1. It's River City Ransom.
Cool.
We've talked about this game before, and it's just one of the most original games of its kind. It pretty much as we've said in a previous episode, it pretty much set the bar for games moving forward. It was like an RPG beat 'em up combo, and just amazing. Just learning all the different techniques to upgrade your fighting techniques, and going to restaurants and eating food to recover your health, and the combat just felt good. It was just like perfect beat 'em up as far as I'm concerned, and yeah, it's number 2 only for a specific reason, and which we'll get to. So
Okay. Yep, my number 1's River City Ransom for
yeah,
sure.
I figured that. Yep.
I remember I saw pictures of it in Nintendo Power before it came out, and just like the way it looked, I thought it looked so cool.
Yeah.
And whenever you hit somebody, like their eyes get all big and like
Yep.
their head gets all distorted, and you
Barf.
can pick up like weapons and pick up people and use them as weapons. Like
Yep.
I'd never seen anything like that before.
That's so cool.
And there's an entire economy system where you can buy stuff, and all the vitamins give you different stat boosts, and like even if you buy like a CD of like rock music or something, it'll like increase your stamina, or
Yep.
you can learn new moves by reading books. I mean, it was so ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was really
It's
cool.
probably in my top 10 games of all time.
I could
It's
see that. Yeah.
it's got to be. And
Yeah.
the fact that they haven't made a true sequel, I'll never understand. They made a remake on the GBA.
Yeah.
That's really good. Some of the powers are really overpowered. Like the Acro Circus
Yeah.
is crazy. You can just like roll around on the ground and like fuck everything up. But
They
yeah,
dumbed it
but
down, so to speak.
I was just glad that they attempted to redo it. It was put out by Atlas, so if you guys want to find that, it is really cool to play on the GBA. But yeah, I think that game is it's got to be one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah. That's awesome. My number one is Kung Fu.
Oh
Um,
God,
those of you who know me from the YouTube channel know that I'm a freak for the Kung Fu.
I'll never understand it.
It's just
Never.
I don't know. I love it. It
I get
originally
bored in like 5 seconds playing that game.
well, it's such a short game. You can like run through it literally in 10 minutes or less.
Yeah.
But it was originally Kung Fu Master in the arcades. I actually went out, give or take, about a year and a half ago, and I actually purchased a Kung Fu Master arcade cabinet for my house, because I love the games that much. And yeah, it was the first game I ever played in the arcade. It was the first game I ever bought for the NES, other than obviously Mario and Duck Hunt, which came with the system. I remember literally saving my change that my parents would always like, throw a change in my bank in my room, and I saved it until I had whatever it was, like $40 or $50 or whatever the hell it was, and going out to well, it was a Toys R Us type store. It was called Child World,
It's a
and
cool name.
yeah, it's like
Sounds like a place for like pedophiles or something.
pedophile paradise.
Oh, Child World.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Child World in my
Yeah.
van, but
So creepy.
yeah, it's called Child World, which is it was actually bought out by Toys R Us and is now at Toys R Us. But I went there and I remember my dad took me over to the NES counter. They had a counter and they literally had a wall full of NES games, and you had to point out which game you wanted. And they took it
I
down with
used
like
to
this
love that.
long pole,
Yeah.
and took the game down off the. Oh, I was at first I looked and NES was still pretty new, so there wasn't like a whole lot of games yet. And I saw the cover, which has Thomas, the main character, kicking. And I was like, Dad, that looks a lot like Kung Fu Master from the arcade. And he's like, yeah, but this one's Kung Fu, not Kung Fu Master. Just be careful. Don't buy it just because you think it's the same. So I was like, can I asked the store clerk, can I see it? They take it down and look at it. I was like, Dad, this is the same game. I was like, I'm buying this. And he's like, are you sure? Yes, I'm buying it. It's the same game. And I still to this day remember the moment I was standing on my front porch or the front doorstep waiting for my parents to unlock the front door. And I'm sitting there just staring at the box, looking at it, just waiting to play it. And I just busted ass down the stairs and I ripped the box open. I probably ripped the box itself. I have a box copy now, but it's not the one from when I was a kid. And just busting that game out for hours upon hours upon hours. And to this day, I still play it. Emulators, the original game, the arcade version, everything. It's just my favorite game of all time, and I can't explain it. I really don't know.
All right, I'm going to grill you on this a little bit.
Okay.
Just because it's fun.
Okay.
Okay, take all nostalgic factor out of it.
Okay.
Completely just as a game.
It sucks.
Do you think that game is better than River City Ransom?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
It's just my favorite. It's just my top game because it's my favorite game for that system.
But you just admitted that there's games that are better than it.
Sure. Games
So
in a technical aspect, yes, but they're not my. It's not my favorite over to the top of this game.
Okay, let me grill you some more. You have your wall full of games.
Uh-huh.
You are going to go to a desert island to live for the rest of your life, and you can only bring one NES game. Are you going to bring Kung Fu or River City Ransom?
That's tough. Probably neither. I'm gonna bring Barbie.
God, you'd take River City Ransom.
Yeah, probably so. Because of the fact that it's a better game, but as far as the top 10 list, it's a top 10 list of your favorite games. So
You're
if
too
I had
emotional for this.
what's that?
You're too emotional for this.
Yeah, I'm the pussy of the duo here.
See, because if that was the case, then Kid Nicky would have been my number one.
Sure. Yeah, no,
Because
I
that's the one
got
that
you.
I'm the most sentimental with. And for those of you guys that don't know, Josh was cool and got me the original arcade marquee for Kid Nicky for me to hang in my game room, which is pretty awesome.
I was trying to look up the actual arcade machine, but I was like, I don't know how the fuck I would ever like have it shipped out to you.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was,
But it's pretty cool. I'm still trying to find a way to make a light box for it, but it'll be
yeah,
cool.
I haven't done that either. I have a marquee from the Kong off from last
Oh
year,
yeah,
and I wanted to make a light box, but I was like, fuck that. So I just put two nails in the wall and just hung it up that way.
I'll probably do that. But
Yeah.
anyway, if you guys want, go ahead and leave your top 10 NES games on Facebook.
Yeah,
We'd be interested
absolutely.
to see it, and let us know if you disagree with some of ours or disagree. And
Oh, I'm sure people disagree
cool.
with mine.
That's all right.
Hell, you did.
I totally do. I mean, Kung Fu sucks. I'm sorry.
No, it does. It's terrible, but I see. But I have fun. I have fun playing it personally because I like it. I mean,
know, I'm just saying.
if it's an overall like quality list or whatever, then no, I'm not putting it at number one. But it's just one of my ultimate favorites. That's all.
That's
But
cool though.
yeah. So yeah, that's the main portion of our show. Top 10 NES games, like Mike said, just leave them on the Facebook if you guys have your lists put together. It's kind of fun to do actually. So we invite you to do that. Next section up, we're gonna hit the jingle button for the Circus of Values.
Welcome to the Circus of Value!
So this week on Circus of Values, I don't really have any deals that I know of.
I just got a couple.
Yeah, I don't really know of too many sales going on. I know GameStop is having like a trade-in sale, but obviously that's trading games in. If you put the money towards Kid Icarus, I believe you get 30% bonus trade-in on your games.
You really took advantage of that for the Gears of War
Gears of War,
3
sure.
thing. You got that for free pretty much, didn't you?
I did get it for free, yep.
Yeah. But pretty much what I have is
That was at
obviously
Best Buy, though.
What?
That was at Best Buy, though.
Oh, right. Where's
Yeah.
this?
GameStop.
Okay.
But,
Well, I mentioned Yakuza Dead Souls
yep.
is 45 right now. It just came out. I mean, Tuesday, so that's a pretty good deal.
It is, yeah. I paid 60.
GameFly is having a couple deals. They have X-Men Destiny for 10. That game's pretty shitty, but if it's pretty much just a beat 'em up. If you
Yeah.
guys like beat 'em ups, for $10, I'm thinking about picking it up too.
Right.
Rage is 13. Infamous 2 is 18,
Wow.
which is those are really amazing.
That's
A
cheap.
couple. I don't know if this is still going on, but I know GameFly was selling Deus Ex Human Revolution for $9.99,
Yeah, yep.
which is crazy, and
Yeah, it still
Warhammer
is.
40K Space Marine for $9.99.
Yep. I
And
remember seeing
then-
Deus Ex yesterday. I every so often will peek into the GameFly store, and
Yeah.
they had, I think Homefront was like $7.99, and yeah, I remember seeing Deus Ex for $9, I think it was. Yeah.
The other thing is, we're hearing that Amazon is going to be selling $10 gift cards for $5
Oh wow.
on March 20th. I don't know if there's any kind of limit to that, or if you can just buy as many as you want, but
Yeah, like spend like $200 and get $400 worth of gift cards.
that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's totally real yet or not, but it's something
Right.
to keep an eye out for.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
March 20th, go check Amazon, see if it's true or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had for Circus of Values.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm with you. I mean, my pen just stopped working. I wanted to write down March 20th on my little journal here.
You want to do our new segment?
What the? No, we should probably save that for next time because we're actually running on pretty long already.
Alright.
And I actually didn't really get a chance to do it. I mean, if you want to talk about it, what we're going to plan on doing, that'd be kind of cool.
Sure, yeah. We came up with the idea of every episode talking about an old game. Like, each of us will pick like a retro game. And when I say retro, I don't mean it has to be like Atari or ColecoVision, just something from a previous generation.
Right.
So I think like PS2 would be considered retro now.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
Me too. Yeah.
or GameCube or anything like that. So we'll just maybe play like one old game at least during the week, and we'll talk about that, because I think it's cool if we talk about current gen stuff and old stuff, because
You gotta mix
there's
it up.
nothing cooler than being turned on to like an old game that you can go find right now. You
Yep.
know, like Be like, oh my god, I've never heard of this game, or it sounds really fun. And
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go down to the store and try and find it, or go online and pick it up for cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll start that next time.
Yeah, we're for episode 4, I think, because I was actually the game that's on the radar for me that I want to review is Digger T Rock for the NES. I started playing a little bit, but I didn't really get enough time with it, or as much as I wanted to get with it to give like a really decent rundown about it and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, the what were we calling it? The Retro Rewind.
Yeah, retro rewind.
Yeah, so I'm working on a little jingle like the Circus of Values for that. So we'll have that ready for next episode for sure. And being that we've already been talking for an hour and 35 minutes, I think it's and the fact that it's also 20 to 6 in the morning here.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I obviously need to get to bed at some point. But yeah, so retro. I can see that's hard to say. Retro Rewind. If you guys have any ideas, some old games, like we said, from last generation all the way back through Atari or whatever, leave us again on the Facebook. Leave us some ideas if there's a game that you want us to play and review, and you want to hear our thoughts about. That would be great too. It would actually make it easier for us to think of what games to do. I mean, we will just pick one off of a list and go with it. So that would be awesome to have some input from you guys on that as well. So yeah, so that'd be awesome. Retro Rewind, guys. That's gonna be starting with episode 4 next week. And what about news? Do you have anything going on there?
Yeah. Have you made a news jingle yet?
No, I you know what? Maybe by the time this comes out, maybe we'll have one inserted in there.
Come on, man. Get on this. You're so lazy. That's like my new thing, calling you lazy in every podcast. Because you don't make an app and you don't make jingles. And
I don't pay like $100 to have someone make an app for me.
I sit here and I do all the work. All I do is sit on here and talk.
I should get like a little helicopter noise that plays behind you as you do the news.
I'm talking to like a what's it called? Megaphone.
Yeah. News.
It's so funny. All right. So Square Enix, I don't know why they did this. Cue the helicopter sound.
Yeah.
So, God.
Go ahead.
So pretty much, they were planning on making a new true crime game called like Hong Kong or Streets of Hong Kong or something like that. And
yeah.
For those of you that don't know, True Crime is pretty much a series. It was just a GTA ripoff.
Yeah.
They had a first one was called Streets of L.A., and then the second one came out for the original Xbox called Streets of New York. So they were making a new one, and it got canceled, which was not boding well for how the Hong Kong game was coming out. It was totally canceled and dead, and now Square Enix has picked it up, and they're calling it Sleeping Dogs, which is like the worst name for a game ever. I don't know why they're calling it that.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Maybe it's like a working title or something.
It seemed like the game was in trouble, so...
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just like one of those like project titles, and it'll change it once they actually...
I don't know. I think that's the name.
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either. They'll probably change it. They have to.
Yeah.
This one's kind of sad, actually, because we both really liked this game. It says Obsidian missed out on a bonus based on the Metacritic score for New Vegas.
What?
Yeah. How crazy is that? Yeah.
That's
I guess if they would have received an 85 or greater Metacritic average, they would have gotten a bonus, like for like a monetary bonus in their paycheck.
Oh, that's so
and
sick.
I think they like barely missed. They had like an 82 and 83.
Oh man.
And I mean that was a great game. The only thing that made it low is probably the bugs. That was the only gripe people had about that game.
Yeah, I like that game. Yeah.
Yeah, we loved it. It was your game of the year last year and my second place game of the year last year. So I felt really bad hearing that because, I mean, they put all that time and effort into making the game, and it's an amazing game. They deserve to get that bonus. But
I agree, yeah.
That just kind of, I don't know, it really bothered me.
Yeah.
From Software, they're the development team that makes the Souls games, like Demon Souls and Dark Souls. They're looking into mobile games.
Wow.
I'm not sure how that's going to work. Because any of you that have played those games know that those are not casual games at all. They're totally hardcore games and kind of niche because they're so difficult and so hard. But I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Diablo 3 finally has a release date hopefully it's concrete this time, but it says May 15th. We're not PC gamers, but they're going to release it on consoles. They have to.
Yeah, no, you would think so.
Because
Yeah,
Blizzard likes money, so
yeah, exactly. Well, who doesn't?
yeah. So hopefully that'll come out. Because me, I love my dungeon crawling hack and slash action. So
Yeah, yeah. No,
I'll be all over that.
you'll be all over it. Yeah, I probably won't be, but
That's all right.
it'll be a rental most likely for me.
Those are just the things that I thought looked interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't really heard too much about news or anything going on.
It's kind of slow.
Yeah, it has been a little bit slow lately, but yeah. So I mean, next week, some stuff to look forward to. Obviously, more what you're playing. We always do that every week, so that's gonna be obviously in there. We're gonna have the retro rewind starting up. Hopefully, get some of you guys on the show. If you guys stay up to the wee hours of the morning, at least on the East Coast.
It's 2:45 here.
Yeah. West Coasters is not too bad, but for the East Coasters now with the stupid time change, it's really kind of screwed us over here as far as finding a good time to record. But it's not a big deal. I don't go to work till 1 tomorrow, so it's all good. But yeah, like I said, leave some information on the Facebook page as far as wanting to be on the show. Maybe some show topics, maybe some top 5, top 10 lists that you guys would want to hear. If you guys want to hear certain games reviewed on the Retro Rewind, leave us that. I mean, pretty much anything. Just leave us some stuff, and we'll definitely hit you guys up on the next episode. But
it's been fun. Yeah, we've been enjoying this. So,
absolutely.
As you guys keep listening, we'll keep doing them.
Yeah, and I've definitely been. I always look forward to recording every week, and I actually listen back to it just to make sure it sounds good before I post it. And well, with the exception of last week, I posted it by mistake with a half an hour blank airspace at the end. But
so lazy.
Yeah, fuck this. I don't feel like converting the file to a smaller size. But I'm wondering how many people out there actually listen to it, waiting to hear something else happen. I actually think that there is at least one person out there who's like raising their hand in their car or wherever they are listening to this and saying, "Yeah, I did that," because it said that the file was an hour and 40-something minutes, and I'm wondering how many people actually sat there like waiting to hear like bloopers or outtakes or something that maybe we shoved at the end. Yeah, I feel yeah, like
I was all by myself.
Yeah, I was about. Oh my god, dude! I was just thinking the same. I was gonna say Green Day's Doogie album. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always what I think of.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, but yeah. So hopefully we'll have less failure when it comes to editing this week. But me and my lazy ass.
You're doing a good job.
Oh, thanks, bud. Yeah. No,
the joke is
that's
I'm
cool.
the lazy one. That's why I keep saying that lazy thing.
That's all good, man. But I know that. I do want to start working on an app soon. I'm hoping to get that done and
so lazy.
Find a free way to get it published. So that's the
That'd
key.
Be good.
So yes, the key is the free, because obviously we don't make money doing this. We don't want to really spend too much doing it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into the negative in my bank account just because to put out a free podcast.
If we do, we won't have any games to talk about.
Exactly. So I'd rather spend money on games and have something to talk about. So if anyone out there actually knows how to not only design apps in an easy way, but also publish them or put them on iTunes for free or for very little cost, maybe, please leave that information on the Facebook, because we're looking to try to make it easier for you guys to grab a hold of the podcast. So. It'd be awesome if you guys could leave that info for us, if anyone knows. So, but yeah, so that's gonna wrap up episode 3, guys. It's been a blast, actually. I mean, we've had everything from retro top 10 lists to dogs puking to.
I know, right? Today was kind of a retro day, though. We had a lot of retro stuff.
It was cool. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it because that's my forte. I love the retro goodness. So that's what I love to have. All right, guys, so that's the end, episode 3 of the Cynical Pixel Show. Till next time, guys, this is Josh.
And Mike.
All right, talk to you guys later.